Hey everyone, so today we're doing some rose maintenance in the garden, specifically some rose climbing on Obelisk, which is a little bit different from climbing on a fence or a structure. So today that's what we're going to focus on in the garden, but it is August. We're in the zone 8-9 here in Texas in the south, and it gets extremely hot because we have such a long growing season. It's a great time to do some pruning, specifically some hard pruning when I'm going to do these climbings and some other cleanup, some maintenance, adding some more mulch, things like that. And some deadheading that's going to promote some more growth with these roses. Now, we have these two obelisks here that we went ahead and purchased from Amazon. Nothing too expensive. One's complete steel, one's steel and plastic. We were originally going to go with some wood obelisk, which I actually built one. We put it in here, looked a little bit too bulky, which we didn't mind, but there's one specific problem that we have here in our region is termites. Termites and other insects are the garden's worst enemy, especially the termites here in Texas. The one thing I want to not do in our garden is add any insecticides that are going to affect our garden, roses, other plants, specifically pollinators as well. I don't want to kill off any pollinators, but those termites are going to continue to come back. So rather than continue to treat it with bad insecticides and we're spraying with organic insecticide, we're going to go ahead and opt for these steel and plastic obelisks so we don't attract any more termites and keep the garden healthy. So the roses specifically in these garden beds are going on their second year, so they put on quite a bit of growth. Next year they'll put on a lot more growth. We should have done some pruning earlier in the season, but we didn't. Like I said, we have a long growing season, so they're still going to continue producing. So what we want to do is clean out some of these roses. The first one I'm going to work on here is Strawberry Hill, which is a prolific climber and bloomer. Unfortunately, I never got this on an obelisk, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't. But the first thing we're going to do, and I've already done some of this, is clean out a lot of those crossing branches. Anything that's thinner than a pencil, you want to pretty much get rid of when you start doing a climber. And you want to find some main canes. So I want to go at least 4 to 5 canes when I do an obelisk to wrap around it, especially if they're very pliable. So if you can find a very pliable cane, that's probably going to be your best bet to start to wrap around an obelisk. Now, like I said, it's different from a fence or a climbing structure where you can go at a 90-degree angle and kind of, lateral as many canes as you want, because that's going to promote the most growth. That's really what happens with these climbing roses is you get them at a 90-degree angle, and in this case with an obelisk, you want to wrap them almost, you're not going to be able to do 90 degrees, but maybe going up like a 45-degree angle or so, as much as possible to get that promotion to go along the canes here. Now, I'm going to continue to do some pruning here. I think I've gotten rid of most of the ones I want. I've identified some of the canes that I want. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to take all the canes off. I just got the ones that I identified and start to wrap those around. And then as I wrap around, I'll prune off any of those pencil thin canes that I don't want in this rose. One thing I don't want to forget is to put on some gloves to handle these roses. I've learned my lesson, got scratched up plenty of times over the years. But with established roses especially, I want to get some gloves and I'm going to be able to handle these. Now, you can probably still poke yourself, but it's a little bit easier to manipulate these roses, especially when, twisting and turning them around an obelisk. It's going to be a lot easier. These I found on Amazon as well. Not an expensive pair of gloves, but it's going to do the job. Okay, so I want to keep as many of the canes outside of the obelisk as possible as to not create any blockage in the center. We want to get some airflow to still come in there and prevent some of that black spot, any diseases that might get in there when these roses are all condensed. Now, granted, you might still get some because if you have it climbing and producing a lot of foliage and flowers, you're going to get some moisture buildup on there. Might get some black spot, but as long as you keep up with it, deadheading, pruning all the dead stuff off, you'll be perfectly fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have one of my main canes right here, which is a very thick cane. Now, we have 1, 2, 3 offshoots off of this. I'm going to go ahead and prune off, like I said, the pencil size ones. So what I want to do is I want to get one of these offshoots right here that's very pliable. And this is one of the first ones I want to start working with. And I want to just start to wrap around this the best I can at a lateral angle. Now I have some tie wire here that's going to help, but I also have some of these clips here that I'm going to use in the meantime, and this is going to help me hold it in place before I start to tie them down, just so I get a good idea of how I want it to pretty much look around here. So I use these clips right here to keep the rows in place as much as possible. And then once I get it where I want it, I come back with this tie wire and just tie them up. And then I release these clips and, you know, just for reuse. But a good tool to have to hold the rows where you need it while you tie it down. Okay, so it doesn't look like much right now because we did a very hard pruning to this rose to get it to form around this obelisk. But like I said, it's fairly easy to do. Just making sure you keep all these canes lateral as close to the obelisk as you can, and any stragglers can definitely grow out because you're gonna want it to bush out just a bit. But this lateral growth is definitely gonna encourage it to put more shoots going up, and then those bigger canes are gonna be encouraged to continue to grow around here. And as it starts to grow, all you gotta do is do the same thing, just clip it down or do some tie wire and get it to tie as you wrap it around. But it's definitely gonna encourage this to grow a little bit more. We have a long growing season here. Hopefully we'll see some flowers, but this is, again, I also cleared out the bottom here, so we had some plumbago growing back here, which grows beautifully, but it grows fairly big. We want airflow in here, so that's one of the things that I did do once I started to cut this rose. Again, it looks a little scraggly right now, but I guarantee you it's gonna grow. We've had Strawberry Hill before. We grew it in Virginia, and it absolutely took off on a 7-foot obelisk, and it looked absolutely beautiful. This is only its second year. Hopefully by this fall, it'll start to put more growth, and then next year, third year, it's probably gonna take off. And that's why I wanted to put these obelisks in here today. Okay, so this rose right here is gonna be a little bit harder to do because it's got more growth on it. This one is Bathsheba. We just did Strawberry Hill. By the way, Strawberry Hill, that we've had Strawberry Hill. We still have Strawberry Hill that we had originally in Virginia, and it's one of the best climbers that you can have in cold or hot climates. We had it in Virginia, it did extremely well. We have it here, and it does extremely well also. But this one right here is Bathsheba. But it's gonna be a bit more difficult because I gotta do some clearing out here. We have 3 roses pretty close in proximity to each other, but far enough for it to continue to grow. We have Evelyn, we have Bathsheba, and then I believe over here is Lark Ascending. Lark Ascending is growing kind of like a climber. My goal is to pin that one down. But first I'm gonna give it a hard pruning before I do any pinning because I want it to continue to put out some more foliage. So I'm gonna have to do some clearing out here. I'm gonna move some of these, you know, we got some Agastacia here, we got some zinnias here at the bottom, we got some more salvia growing back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some clearing out, and then we'll get going on this obelisk here. And again, one of the first things I'm doing is I'm clearing out the bottom of this rose so I can get in there a little bit easier without damaging anything else. One thing that's growing quite a bit here is this Agastacia, or Agastacia, I don't know how to pronounce it, called Blue Fortune. Smells absolutely wonderful. It's like licorice. These flowers smell absolutely, and they attract all the bees. When I say all the bees, I'm talking about like all the bees get attracted to this one when it's fully in bloom. Right now it's getting a little hot, so the blooms aren't as big, but yeah, there's beautiful, beautiful Agastacia. Did a lot of clearing on this rose, and I know it can be hard to go in there and cut a lot of these canes because everybody wants their roses to grow, but a climbing rose really needs to have only a couple main canes. You don't need that many. You don't want to crowd it. Remember the 3 Ds and the C, which is take out any dead, damaged, diseased canes, and any crossing canes. So there's a lot of that are, you'll see some that look very healthy up top, but you'll see a lot of this crossing damage where it's damaged and torn up and stuff like that. Those are the ones you're gonna wanna get rid of. I know it's hard to cut them out, but you're gonna wanna get rid of those because if you start to use those to wrap around in time, that part that's been damaged can introduce borers, any insects that wanna get into that rose, and then it'll just cause all that to die off basically. So got it pretty much cleared out here. I'm gonna go ahead and get our next obelisk and get that set in here. I'm gonna have Angie stand over here to the side and tell me which way to face these obelisks. once you get it in there and start tying, it's gonna be difficult to undo them and then turn them around and get it the way you want it. So when we come out of our house, we're looking this way. So we wanna make sure that we place this obelisk in an angle where it's gonna look nice, not just coming out from this way, but you know, on the sides. The angles, I'm not really too much worried about. It's where you're actually gonna be looking at the garden from where you come out or where you're standing in the back here. I wanna start with some of my longer ones here. This one is probably one of the longer ones, and then this one over here. And what I wanna do is I wanna bring these immediately close to the top because I have so many of them. I'm gonna start these fairly high and maybe about right here, start to get it to turn here and go lateral because this one's already climbing quite a bit. Strawberry Hill, I did some hard pruning because it only has a couple main canes. That's the one thing about Strawberry Hill. It has main canes, but it puts out a lot of growth. This one here, never grown it before. As I can see, it's very much like an octopus. It has a lot of canes. So I didn't want to cut them all back. I want to see which ones perform well. Like I said, we haven't grown Bashaba before, so I don't know how it performs on a couple canes. Maybe it needs plenty of canes. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm gonna keep as many as I can. I know it's counterintuitive to what I said, but I'm gonna keep as many as I can and see what it does, and then we'll come back and do some hard pruning if we need to. But for now, I'm gonna keep these longer ones and have these grow up top, and then the shorter ones, I'm just gonna wrap around the bottom. So that way we get some growth all the way through this obelisk here. I know a lot of times you'll see a lot of roses that don't have a lot of growth on the bottom because that's immediately what people wanna do is bring the top canes up and wrap those on top, and then you leave the bottom pretty bare. I don't wanna do that. I wanna have some of those bottom canes grow at the bottom here so we have some growth all the way through this obelisk. And once again, using my clips here because these clips definitely do come in handy to hold it in place. That way it gives me an opportunity to turn this at an angle here, and then that'll let me come back and tie it down with some tie wire. You see that makes it a little bit easier to do this than it would be just trying to tie it while I go, especially with gloves on. So it makes it a little bit harder, but with these little ties, it makes it so much easier to just hold it in place and not have to worry about it. Okay, and I did talk about crossing branches earlier. On an obelisk, it's gonna be okay to have some that are crossing as long as they're tied down and the wind's not moving them and rubbing them together. So you can definitely go underneath in between other branches. Like I said, as long as they're tied down good and they're not swaying around, rubbing and causing that friction damage to other canes, you should be totally fine. Okay, so there you have it, guys. 2 obelisks here in the garden. Absolutely makes it look way better here. Cleaning it up, making it look a little bit nicer. Like I said, we're doing our rose maintenance. The next thing is, you know, putting back some of these other roses, cutting back some of this foliage that we have in here to give it some more breathing space. But easy to do these climbing roses on obelisk. It's just going lateral as much as you can, like I did here on Strawberry Hill. But on one like this, where I know I have more growth and more canes, I was able to use that to get it started at the bottom and bring those taller canes up top and try to go as lateral as possible on top. Easier to do it when you have more canes, less when you have a rose that requires only 3 to 4 canes to absolutely take off. So I started very low on that one, but it's easy. One thing I did forget to mention is when you're using ties or anything like that, you wanna leave enough room to stick your finger in those ties. You don't wanna tie it too tight to the structure because these canes will definitely start to grow and they'll get fairly thick very fast. And when you start to notice that, should be enough time for you to cut those off, and that rose is probably gonna stay formed to that structure, so you don't have to do much other than keep it tied down in 1 or 2 spots. But very easy to do. In the next video, maybe I'll do some climbing structures like the fence. We have a couple of trellises we need to do because I do want to teach you guys about climbing roses and how to best get them to produce. We've done this before, and we're just doing it here in this garden. I have one more to do, which I'm not going to do on camera, but yeah, fairly easy to do. Strawberry Hill, Bashaba, we're gonna see how this one does next year, maybe this fall, see how much growth it puts on. Continue with the rose maintenance, do some spraying, some more mulch, some clearing out of some dead foliage, and cutting back some of the other foliage here. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.